Here.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. We're back. So we actually managed to pull off 2 open space sessions virtual. How about that? Wow. So now it's time. We're getting closer to the end. Closer to the end now. It's almost that. We're going to continue now with the perfection game, as is said in the agenda, and it's going to be Steve Heuler who's facilitating it. So it's all yours, Steve.
Okay. Well, let's play a game. Let's play a game of perfection. The perfection game works like this. The perfection game is a fun way to improve an idea or an action through feedback rather than criticism. And by using feedback and talking about improvements, we help to encourage positive improvements where criticism could stifle positive action. We hope that by talking improvements, we promote good action. The rules of the game are pretty simple. I wonder who has played the perfection game before. There are a couple different ways to play it, including the correct way to play it, and we're going to play a slightly modified version of it tonight, just so you know. Some people are joining us in the Hangout tonight, and if you look, some people are joining us in the Hangout tonight, and if you look at the main live feed, I find I don't know how to do that. If you look at the main live feed, you'll see there's a link to the perfection game, which will, I don't know if you guys can see my screen or not, but let's I'm trying to show you my screen.
We can, Steve. It's working.
Okay. There is a link to the perfection game on the live feed. If you will click on that link, it will take you to a Google document, a shared Google document, where you will find the way we're going to play the game tonight. And as a shared document, you're also invited to make your perfections in the document in real time, so everybody can play the game along with us who will be playing it together in the Hangout. Does that make sense? Are there any questions there? If no one in the Hangout has a question for me, let me just tell the rules of the game. Like any game, there are some rules. The first rule is that we want to have fun and we want to quickly reach some improvements. What I'm going to ask everyone who plays the game to do is to start and follow this dialogue. Oops. I need to stop sharing my screen. Sorry. Now you see me again. If you're going to play the game, I'd like you to tell us your name and then tell us what you'd like to improve. Then let us know what you liked about the action or the idea you'd like to improve, and then tell how you think you can make it better. Like, oops. You might want to say, I think I can make this, I think with my suggestions, I can make this idea or action 2 times better. I can make this 5 times better. Or with my suggestions, I believe my suggestions could make the idea 100 times better. And then please give us your suggestions for improvement. And I want to play an example here. My name is Steve, and I'd like to improve the action of the idea that came out to hold the next Stoos event as a live television event like the Eurovision Song Contest. I think my suggestions could make this idea 2 times better than it already is. What I like about the idea is the concept of having dancers and very nice costumes. The way I would improve this idea is to make sure that we practiced the televoting several times before the night of the broadcast. So that's my silly example, but there is an example of the perfection game, the way we'd like to play it. Are there any questions now? Okay, let's go right into now the types of ideas or actions that we would like to improve. We might talk about improving the event that was held tonight. We might talk about improving the process of inviting participation, or even let's go for a really scary idea. If you've heard an idea that's come out of this event itself and you'd like to offer improvements for that very idea, maybe an idea about bringing about collaborative processes within the workplace rather than heroic processes, that could be something we'd also have improvements on. If there aren't any questions, let's give it a go. If you're listening and you're not on the Hangout, please use the Google document to write your perfections in the format that we've mentioned. And if you're in the Hangout, let's just get started. Who would like to play the perfection game?
Just one comment, Steve. Remember that we are delayed here. It's almost up to 1 minute delayed. So when you say to people, go to the document, it might take a minute before that message actually reaches the audience. So, okay?
And can one of you, what's the URL for the document?
Yeah, and there's somebody here asking again where the document is. So in the meantime, you might restate that where they can find. I know you showed it, but let's tell them again.
Well, if I can remember how to show it, I will show it. If you look back to the Stoos in Action website, on the live link at the very top, you'll see a link to the Perfection Game document. When you click on that link, you'll be taken to a shared Google Doc where you'll see a little bit about the game. You'll see the rules we're playing by. You'll see my Eurovision Song Contest example of the Perfection Game. And then at the bottom, you'll see a template that you can use for filling your own, for writing your own examples of the Perfection Game. Okay. If there's questions about how to play the game, I think please make this, ask those questions on the Twitter feed, and someone's monitoring the feed so that we'll be able to answer those questions, right? Yes, someone's monitoring the feed. So if there's any questions, please ask them in the Twitter feed. Otherwise, we invite you to use the document to play along with us. And I'm wondering who here on the Hangout wants to play the first round.
I need some think time.
Well, let's take that time then.
For the delay.
We need some music.
While you're thinking, let me mention that this is a modified version of the Perfection Game. The Perfection Game comes from the core protocols, which are found at the complete source for the actual game can be found at liveinggreatness.com. You'll find all the core protocols, including the source for this version. And while you're thinking, I want to also recommend my favorite book on the core protocols. Oh, you're not going to be able to read that, I see. But it's Creating Time by Vicki Gray, where you can find more information as well. Let's think about the event itself. Who would like to offer ways to improve the next Stoos event based on the event that we've just held? But it's Creating Time by Vicki Gray, where you can find more information.
Am I on now? This is Ole. Am I on? Am I online?
We hear you.
On the app, okay. So I was trying to find the template again here. That is. That disappeared. Yeah.
Yeah.
My name is Ole Jebsen. I'd like to improve. Even more interactivity would be great. I think we had, we had the technology for that, and up until a few days ago, I just couldn't get my head around how the heck are we are we having a chit chat with the world on yeah.
Let's focus on the things we like and focus on the improvements that we'd like to offer.
Okay, even more interactivity would be great. So we had the technology present, and we saw that it worked some. But I would had loved to see more pictures of people in couches and in rooms rather than just mainly one face in each picture. Is that what you're after, Steve? Or?
That is what I'm after. Again, it would be very nice to hear what the idea you'd like to improve, and then what you like about the idea or the action, and then how you would improve it further.
Yeah. So I like that we had that interactivity, and I think we could improve it further by the sort of the production. And I'm the production itself, so I'm definitely not pointing fingers at anybody. So taking even more advantage of the technical setup and the options that all these media are giving us these days. That's me. I'll mute.
All right, I'll go. I was thinking about the challenges we had starting the event. I think we started the event about 2 hours late. So I liked that we did start the event. I liked that we had an actual start time and people showed up in my living room where I hosted the event here in Boston, and we had our own conversation. So we were prepared to do that. I think I could make the event 2 times better. With this idea. So we were counting on Google Hangout, and we had Google Hangout as our single point of failure, and it failed. What if we had an audio-only backup, like Free Conference, and some way, I guess we had the website, so we could share URLs to people's slides or something as a backup, so we could just get rolling. Or what if we found somebody to give us audio plus video or audio plus slides, like GoToMeeting or something? At the last Corporate Rebels, I forget what the conference was called, but the last Corporate Rebels United event, which was a similar event, they had a sponsor. They had Cisco provide GoToMeeting service for the event. And actually had a couple of people who work for Cisco facilitating it, so they made sure it worked. So my idea for a smooth start of the event is don't rely solely on Google Hangout. Have at least one alternative, like Free Conference or GoToMeeting.
Thanks, Richard. Dinah just chatted in from Hamburg, and she said that she would like to offer to run her idea. I'm going to paraphrase for you a bit, Dinah. I believe what I'm reading is that you liked the aspects of the event, but you would like to your improvement, which would make this idea even one time better for you again, is to offer to run a group in Hamburg, linked with the Intrinsify Me group that you're running there. So yeah, thank you for that, offering that improvement, Dinah.
Steve, I wrote
Peter Stevens is sitting here next to me, so he's...
Yeah, okay. And I actually wanted to build on what Ole was saying, because I had very similar thoughts, and also the fact that we're 2 hours late now makes it, difficult for some people. I mean, I realize that the timing is difficult for somebody somewhere anyway, but then having it be different than what you thought. So I would like to improve the timing. What I really liked was that this was a worldwide event, and that it seemed to find a good, much better balance between global events and local events. I think back to the Stoos Connect, and I thought that we got that balance much, much better this time around based on the comments I've been hearing. I think we'd make this awesome if we started on time. Mine is, my suggestion is going in a slightly different direction. I'm not so much concerned about who the partner is or having a plan B, but instead of relying on free services that just might be there or might not be there, that we actually have a formal relationship with whoever it is who's providing the service, so that they know that this thing is happening, and so that they don't, oh yes, well that would be a great time to do some maintenance. I mean, it's only Friday afternoon, right? And hey, in California it's midnight, so yeah. So that would be my suggestion, is to reach out to whoever we're going to be dependent on and say, hey guys, it's important for us that you're there for us.
Thanks, Peter. Because I'm not able to walk and chew bubblegum at the same time, I'm also not able to read the Google Doc and comment in the Hangout. So I'm wondering if someone else is looking at the Google Doc, if there's anything in there that you would like to mention.
Right now, there are just 2 entries in the Google Doc.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm watching the Google Doc.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I'm just muting my mic when I'm not saying anything. So it seems that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 participants inside the Google Doc, but not a lot of them are writing anything. So
still thinking.
Still thinking. Or maybe they're just too tired to write.
Did Nadia get to join us in the Hangout? I know she was looking to join us in the Hangout. Because I'm curious to hear what Nadia and her location have to tell us. Nadia's been invited by email, but we haven't seen her yet in the Hangout. So.
Steve, can you see the note from Dina that the initial questions, maybe put that in somewhere, if you don't mind?
The initial questions are in the Google Doc, which is found again at the top of the live page, and the link at the top of the live page.
Well, strictly speaking, it's right under the video block.
Okay, let's see if I can share my screen. I told you I'm not really good at walking and chewing gum at the same time, which includes sharing screens. And if you go to the main Stoos in Action page, it's either at the very top or right under the YouTube video link. You'll find a link to the Perfection Game. When you click on that link, you'll go to the Google Doc. And in the Google Doc, you'll find the questions. And how do I stop sharing my screen?
I'll click on the screen sharing.
Yes. And the questions there are, if you could tell your name, if you could tell what you'd like to improve, tell what you already liked about the idea, and then perhaps tell how valuable your suggestions are. As example, I think I could make it 2 times better with my suggestions, or I think my suggestions could actually make it 50 times better. And then tell us your suggestions for improvement. Thanks for the question, Dinah, because I think that's important to repeat that.
I'm hearing a lot of stuff coming in on the chat, maybe on Skype. If you want to add me to the chat, I can monitor it for you.
Eleanor or Donna, are you able to add Peter Stevens to the Skype chat, the back channel?
Peter Stev.
I can't, but I'll put it in the I'll ask them to add it. Ask them to add Peter. So I'll just go do that now.
He's going to chew gum for me while I walk.
And blow bubbles.
So if we're we were just talking about a few ways to maybe improve the Stoos event itself. Did you hear any ideas come out of the event? Perhaps any scary ideas about changing the world of work, and that you would like to offer these ideas up, tell what you like about them, and tell how you could see improving them?
We have, yes, now we're starting to get some stuff. Would you like me to read them aloud?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from Richard Kasparovsky. Apologies if I'm butchering anyone's name. I would like to improve the smoothness of the event start.
That was me. We already did that one.
Wow. Oh, well, actually, I guess we've heard it about 3 times. Okay, then I will jump over to, well, Fred Klaus is typing as I speak. I wonder if he can type faster than I can talk.
That's really interactive.
So we'll give him a chance to finish his thought. Let's see. Yep. But one thing which I like is that people are now writing things into the Google Doc. There should be an inspiration for the other various creatures who are in the Google Doc. You notice that the logos, we have the anonymous beaver, we have the anonymous jackal, we have the anonymous orangutan, all sorts of interesting creatures. However, if you join the chat on the Google Doc, then you stop being anonymous.
Yes, Peter?
Well, while Fred is thinking about how to make it better, let's talk about what he'd like to improve. He says, I'm not sure if this is really a global organization issue, but I only found out about this event a few days ago. My local cell here in Denver hadn't mentioned it at all in our monthly meetings. Okay, I liked the open spaces. I think I can make it this much better. And now I'm going to leave the ...
Okay, this is the cliffhanger.
Yes.
Well, while we're waiting to come back to that, Donna Jones, who's actually in the Hangouts, but maybe her mic is muted, she just wrote to give us a shout out to say that it was a great day and she enjoyed being a part of it.
Actually, that's Ellen, Steve. That's something that Ellen posted, and Ellen's been taking over Eleanor's spot while she's gone off to pick up her son, she'll be back later. So I just posted it off the Skype feed.
I see you expecting me to read all the way to the bottom before I started reading it out loud.
Sorry.
So this is actually from Eleanor by way of Dawn, and she said she just wanted to send us a shout out to say what a great day it was, and she's glad for being a part of this event. She's hoping we'll have another opportunity to work together. The Stoos philosophy is something that she's been embracing for a while, and so she finds Eleanor said it's really a privilege to see this grassroots global movement take shape. I think Eleanor's a little bit like me. Eleanor's someone who's been kind of working around this area, but this is our first chance to really be involved with the Stoos event. So I see how you Stoosians multiply. You invite us to be part of your group, and then we're here.
Whoops.
We're hooked.
Yes. Well, speaking as one of the original Stoosians, that was the idea. We wanted to catalyze change. Okay, now that doesn't mean that we were going to push the cart the whole time. What we wanted was to get people excited by the idea of changing things for the better. And that message resonated 2 years ago, and it's still resonating today. And so I feel like a grandfather now, because I've been, it's not even the Stoos 4, the Stoos 21. It's the children of the people who did the events last year, in a way. So it's the message is propagating and growing. So I think Fred has finished typing. Fred, if you haven't finished typing, then hit XXX very quickly, or ... so that we know that things are still going. So what Fred is saying that he liked, we were talking about the finding out about the event. Okay, his self found out about the event only a few days before the event. He liked the open spaces. I think we can make it 5 times better if others with the same issues join him. I would improve this action by doing what I have already done. I volunteered last month to help coordinate our local group. So yeah, stand up, organize. We here at this table are all drinking a beer. A beer is an excellent excuse to organize a group of people to come together and talk about serious issues, like catalyzing a change for the better. So thank you, Fred.
I just saw that we got something in on Twitter. So this is from somebody I know, Jenny Jepson. She says she loved when there was a dialogue between speakers and Stoos in action, and she says tweet perfection game. I think that means that people should also be able to tweet their input for the perfection game.
Yeah, I think that's all right. Let's do that. If you have input to tweet, let's do it. And Christian is, I think we're to the point of the event where it's really okay to mention that Christian has a bottle of wine and a glass of wine, and he's offering to share it all with us virtually. So cheers, Christian.
There's my virtual glass.
It's actually beer. It's our chief happiness officer in our company's home brewed beer, and it's wonderful.
Nice. So speaking of Twitter, the Twitter feed, here's a perfection suggestion. I think I could make the event 5% better. I love the Twitter feed. I loved both Twitter feeds, the hash Stoos in action and at Stoos in action. I was following them with my group here on the Twitter feed webpage where you had the two Twitter gadgets. The suggestion is to make both of them start at the same place on the page and be really long, so we can see lots of tweets and lots of images. A lot of people were sending in photos. That's my little idea for 5% better.
Thanks. I think if I understand our time box, we have about 5 minutes left. And then I think everybody's ready to begin the Stoos in Action cocktail party after event cocktail party. Karen, in Zurich.
Hi, so my name is Karen. I'd like to improve the people in Zurich, the interested one, know about this great event. I was able to participate by serendipity. I like that it happens. I like that it was very interactive, although it started 2 hours late, but they gave also time to do discussions. I think I can make it in Zurich 10 times better. I would like to improve the networking with interested young developers and people in software and other stakeholders in agile development within Zurich. And I think next time we would have a huge party here in Zurich instead of the three of us.
Yeah, that would be great because we had a fun party with the three of us, and we'd like to see more. There is a Stoos satellite in Zurich that is quite active, but we're the upstart satellite that has jumped in at the last moment that Peter came to join us from the more established satellites. So yeah, we'd like to see everybody next time.
Yeah.
There's no monopoly on satellites.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone can start a satellite. It takes two people. Sometimes a beer is helpful, but it's not required. Two people who want to talk about Stoos to make a satellite.
Steve, I wondered if we were getting ready to round up.
I believe we are.
Yeah, I actually think that let's do a little grand finale, and then we can just go off air on this call and continue the after party here on this channel. So everybody who wants to stay can stay.
That sounds great. I'd like to say thank you to the members of the Core Protocol Facebook group who helped me perfect my take on the perfection game, and this is the largest, most distributive way I've ever tried to run it. So I thank you for being a part of the experiment. Thank you very much.
Alrighty. So thank you, Steve, for the perfection game. That was a great inspiration. I think I'm going to use that again sometime. Cool. So
please check out the Live in Greatness link for the actual original source of the game, by the way.
Okay. Cool. So that was, it feels like 16 hours of broadcasting Stoos in action, and we're getting there. So in this room we are 5 people, so I want to ask people to join me up here so the rest of the world can see how we're 6 people in. That's right, yeah, including me. So and I'm trying to open Google Effects. Here we go. So I want to send a huge thank you to all the satellites, again to the organizer team for joining us at Stoos in Action. The next Stoos in Action is going to be in 2064. Thank you everybody for participating, and
so it's okay.
and take care out there and go change the world. And again. So whoever owns the Hangout can take it off air now.
Quickly, please.
Quickly, do it now.
Yeah.